Hello, my name is Catnapp. In this video, I will show you how I make a song using Ableton Live, recycling old songs, as well as showing you how I record and process my vocals. So let's get started. Okay, so here I have a project with some of the elements I usually use in a track. First, I have the drum rack set up in a MIDI channel. I already selected some sounds. And I have a drum bus. I really like to use it to distort my drums. Sometimes I use it on each sound to have individual control, but I still have it at the end of the effects chain because I know I'll end up using it for everything anyway. I have a complete control set up on another MIDI channel for my melodies or samples, and I have a vocal group with one audio channel inside for my vocals. I already have some effects here set up. These are the effects I usually use. I have a gate, first of all, to reduce the noise if there is any that comes into my microphone. An EQ aid where I reduce the low frequencies instead of just cutting them off because I like the feeling of still having a little bit of it there. And I like to punch the high frequencies a bit because it gives my voice that extra crunch. I have a chorus to widen my voice in the stereo field. I have a saturator because I like to saturate almost every element of my track. It gives the vocals a lot of warmth and like a raw feel. I have a delay. I chose the classic delay over the rest because I use it in a very simple way. I basically only choose from beat division settings 2 or 4 and that's it. And then I have a hybrid reverb at the end. It allows me to change the pre-delay very precisely because you can also set it to beat divisions. So this is how it sounds without the vocal chain effect.
You tell me don't take it personal, it's just how it is not with you.
And this is how it sounds with.
You tell me don't take it personal, it's just how it is not with you.
So that's how the vocals sound. Next, I will search for a kick that will serve as a starting point. I'm gonna go to my search space here, and I think I had a sound like a long basic kick inside my splice sample folder, so I'll search for kick long. That's how it sounds. I'm not sure if this is gonna be my final sample, but I'm gonna have it as a reference for now and hit Command T to create a new audio track. I'm gonna rename it Kick Sample and color it blue. I'm gonna hit Tab to go to Arrangement View. I'll drag my sample to my audio track. I'm gonna hit Command D with my clip selected to copy paste it a couple of times. Alright, I have my kick sample for now. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna work on my percussion. I will create first my intro. I want my intro to last 8 bars for now. I was imagining a very simple percussion rhythm just to have something that I can sing on top of and to get going with the track and then afterwards see what I like and what I don't. I'm gonna make a hi-hat to begin with. I really enjoy to create as I go, so I'll just press play and try some things out. I'm gonna set the grid to quarter notes by hitting Command 2 times. Then I'm going to create a hi-hat note by double-clicking and duplicate it with Command D. Here is a snare that I sampled earlier. And I think that's about it. I think that's everything I want for my intro for now. Now I am going to work on my verse. So I'm gonna grab the intro clip that I just created, duplicate it using Command D, and maybe include some more elements. I'm gonna go ahead and make it a bit longer, perhaps 4 bars. So I have more space to create some variations. So that's gonna be my verse for now, and then I'm gonna go ahead and create my chorus. I'll duplicate one more time,
For the chorus, I'll speed up my hi-hat, so I'll change the grid back to 16th notes, pressing Command 1 twice, and duplicate the hi-hat throughout the whole clip. I'll also add this little Minecraft sample at the beginning of the first and third bar. So now I have my chorus. I'm gonna rename my clips by selecting them and pressing Command R, chorus, verse, and intro.
Now that I have a beat, I'll move on to creating a small melody.
So I'll go to my complete control channel, arm it for recording, and as you can see, I already have loaded an instrument here and chose a preset that I think would be a good match for the song. And because I armed the channel and the monitoring is set to auto, I can hear what I'm playing on my external controller, and it sounds something like this. I'll go ahead now and record a melody, so I'll double-click on the stop button to bring the marker to the beginning of the track and hit record. I'm gonna add some effects. I'm gonna look for a reverb. And a saturator to add some drive. I'll place it in front of the reverb. Then I'm gonna also add a compressor to duck the sound a bit each time the kick is playing. To do that, I'll enable the sidechain by hitting this arrow here and choose the kick of my drum kit to trigger the compressor. I'll duplicate the clip in order to play it when the kick comes in and check if the sidechain is working. Okay, it's working.
Alright, now that I have a basic structure, I can already try and record some vocals on top.
Before I start recording some vocals, I'm gonna make my verse part twice as long. And perhaps remove the melody from the verse and just leave it in the chorus. Alright, I'm gonna try and record some vocals.
1, 2, 3, 4, I just gotta let it go. 5, 6, 7, 8, I just wanna let it break. I forget the times you fucked around with my head. I don't know what you do, but I just forget. The moment that I see your face, I forget. Yeah, I forget, yeah, I forget that it'll never be like I would expect. The things I said about you, me and your bed. The way you look at him and he looks at her. Yeah, I forget, yeah, I forget.
Now that I have the main vocals, I'll record an almost identical second layer on top with a bit of a lower volume to create a fuller and more powerful result. I'll also record some ad-libs with a higher pitch to have a more dynamic vocal story.
1, 2, 3, 4, I just gotta let it go. 5, 6, 7, 8, I just wanna let it break.
Okay, I'm gonna rename this track Vocals 2, then duplicate it, so I will also copy the effects chain from that track and rename it Ad-libs.
I just gotta let it go. 1, 2, 3, 4, I just gotta let it go. 5, 6, 7, 8, I just wanna let it break. 5, 6, 7, 8, Forget the times you fucked around with my head. I don't know what you do, but I just forget. The moment that I see your face, I forget. Yeah, I forget. Yeah, I forget.
So now that I have kind of an idea of where my song is going, instead of producing something new, I'm gonna go ahead and look into my older projects or unused demos and see if I can find something that fits.
When I feel stuck or uninspired, I go back to songs I didn't finish but still saved, sometimes even years ago, and get ideas from those to help me move forward with the track I'm currently making. So I have a folder here called Unused Demos 2021, and I'm gonna look through it to see if something can be used for this song idea. If I press on them, I can listen to what they sound like. I think that this one definitely goes with the vibe that I'm looking for. It has the same long kick and tension, but it's way more powerful. So I'm gonna go to this project and choose the bits that I think could work for this new song and copy paste them to this project. So here I am at my Rave 3 project. I was listening through the tracks, and what I really like are these bassy long sounds. Especially that one. I really like this riser for my chorus. And the effects in general are very nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'll copy the tracks that I like from this arrangement over to my new one. To do that, I could drag the tracks in from the browser, but as I'm here already, I will select the tracks that I want to copy, hit Command-C, and go right back to my other project. Alright, so here we are in the previous arrangement. I'm gonna just collapse the vocals, and I'm going to hit Command-V to paste the tracks that I just copied. So my vocals were left alone here at the bottom, so I'm gonna drag them up so that I have all the tracks from my initial idea in one place. So that I don't get confused, I'll group all the tracks of my initial idea and rename it Track 1. Then I will color my group green and assign that same color to the grouped tracks and clips. Then I'll do the same thing to the tracks I just copied.
So I've copied over the elements that I like, and now I can start playing with the arrangement until I find something that works.
For example, first of all, these effects at the beginning were a bit harsh, so I'm gonna remove them.
1, 2, 3, 4. I just gotta
And maybe mute my intro by pressing 0 on my keyboard.
5, 6,
By the way, I also muted the long kick sample because I think the new one works much better.
I forget.
Alright, and then I'm gonna bring this riser that I really liked from Rave 3 into my chorus. I think that could work. Here's my chorus. Here's my riser. Let's see. Sounds good? I think I'm gonna go ahead and delete the percussion I initially created because I like the copied percussion much better. I'm gonna bring those drums a bit closer to my other tracks so that it's more accessible. So I think this is kind of the intro, judging by the little elements I see here. And this is the verse, intro, verse, and here's the chorus. I think I'll leave the rest behind. And now I'll use these clips to structure a second verse. So that's done. Let me copy-paste the riser onto the second chorus. So I'm just going to paste that riser and delete the rest. And maybe copy the melody onto the chorus as well. I think I can collapse my initial long kick sample as I muted it earlier, but I'll keep it just in case. The chorus comes again after this, so I'm gonna copy the whole chorus part and paste it here.
After moving the pieces around, I found a structure that works for the song, so now I'm gonna go ahead and record the chorus.
I'm gonna place the marker a little bit earlier so I have a bit of a pre-roll.
The way you look at him and he looks at her, yeah, I forget that I can tell so well when there's trouble ahead, and that I should know better and just trust my head. The minute that I saw you, I knew that I was dead.
I'll do the same thing that I did with my verse, create another layer, maybe call it chorus B, and record the vocals almost exactly the same.
The things I said about you, me and your bed. The way you look at him and he looks at her, yeah, I forget that I can tell so well when there's trouble ahead, and that I should know better and just trust my head. The minute that I saw you, I knew that I was dead. I forget.
So I'll finish up by recording some more vocals for the rest of the song, do some mixing, tidy up, and show you the final result.
As you can see, the project developed quite a lot. I made a new intro, recorded some extra vocals, and mixed everything. I added some new percussion elements and effects. I also worked on the transitions and optimized the arrangement. What you can see in this video is the first sketch of what afterwards took a couple of months to be really finished.
I forget that I can tell so well when there's trouble ahead, and that I should know better and just trust my head. The minute that I saw you, I know that I was dead.
So that was a quick look at some of my workflow. Hopefully it gives you some ideas for your own production. This is Catnapp. Thanks for watching.